This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of May 31st, 2021. We are at a major turning point, or probably a convergence of turning points individually and collectively. We're in the gauntlet between eclipses, between May's Sagittarius full moon lunar eclipse, May 26, and June's Gemini new moon solar eclipse on the 10th. This process is bringing lots of long brewing developments to fruition, to a head, to the end of the line, to the change of a chapter, and into a new approach, a new perspective. Actually, perspective is the big word for the turning points that we're all going through. Whatever the surface events are, and a lot of them have been profoundly dramatic in the last week or so, and will continue to be, but the overarching theme is what the events do to the way we view our lives or to our outlook. Shift in perspective, evolution in perspective, putting away old ways. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. That verse from the King James Bible speaks to what each of us is going through right now and may help you understand, process, reframe everything that's happening to you. Are you being forced to upgrade technology? Are you being given the opportunity or shoved with cosmic hands in the back to change the way you're approaching certain long-standing issues in your life? Have you suddenly lunged through a doorway into a new life stage, which you've been approaching for some time, but maybe haven't consciously embraced? Pay attention to June 1st, the beginning of the month. The sun meets with the north node of destiny. Something is happening that sets your course, that points you to your personal North Star, guiding star. And by the end of the week, you get the opportunity to see what's within your sphere of influence and what big lumbering changes, either in your family, in your life, out in the world, you actually have no control over. So the story arc of the week is awareness of orientation toward your true north, taking you to recognition of where power lies, where it is on your side of the equation and where it is on other sides of the equation. In between, we have some nudges toward communicating differently, being more open, looking at things differently. Mercury's retrograde is going to stir some data that may spur you to action, perhaps in a way that you have not acted before. So more putting on big boy, big girl pants with this, moving to a new stage of maturity. And there's also some discomfort pushing you to get on board with, acknowledge, grow from changing circumstances. It'll be really hard to stay stuck with these influences because they will nudge you and annoy you and nag you until you just say, okay, fine, I will deal with this. Part of dealing with it is going to lead to really yummy, nurturing acts. Venus, the planet that rules our social interactions, moves into the home body sign of Cancer on June 2nd. Mars, her partner, the ruler of our drive, is already in that sign. They're not going to actually meet in that sign, but with what we desire, how we interact with each other, how we create in that mode, at the same time as how we go about trying to get what we want or push our agendas forward, also in that mode. 1, comfort food. Sorry. 2, staying at home. I know we can go out in the world, but there's something with a newfound appreciation of home fires, your own comfy, cozy place. You may go out in the world more and more and more as COVID restrictions are lifted. And yes, there's novelty and there's something wonderful. And I expect that a lot of going to restaurants and bars will be involved in this. That could be very Cancerian. But see if you don't come to realize that you have set some situations up in your own home that you really appreciate. And also see if you don't find yourself being really selective about who you want to share experiences with right now. There might be a much more overt appreciation, overt acts of nurturing, overt acts of affection going on with all of this. Stabilization and containment of new energies flow easily on the 3rd when the Sun trines Saturn. This supports your place in your social groups, locking in. This supports easy, organic grounding chords, commitment to the self, commitment to your future, and simply feeling comfortable in and with who you are at this point. The weekend brings a surge in Mercury retrograde's greatest hits, so take more than the normal precautions. Know that confusion could be even greater than normal, that cloudy thinking could be even greater than normal, that people could have vastly different assumptions in a conversation. On the 5th, Mercury squares Neptune. A Mercury retrograde already is a bit like a Mercury-Neptune contact, so the two of them together are double duty. Great time for kicking back, for relaxing, for being very loose about your schedule, because good luck getting anywhere on time. Use it to chill, relax, regroup, let your mind go fallow, and take in the new vantage point that is being offered to you. Mars is in an opposition to Pluto on the 5th. Mars, the god of war, opposing Pluto, the lord of death and rebirth. Human ways of pushing themselves forward, pitted against a greater force than mortal consciousness. Use it for tinkering with your perspective as we're in this gauntlet that is doing so much with that. This is the aspect that will make it apparent where the power chips lie in every situation. Stand back and actually observe, and you may well see what's in your sphere of influence and what is absolutely outside your conscious control. The big reset is coming next week with the solar eclipse. Treat everything this week as much as possible as data about where you're going, not so much where you've been. Homing thought of the week. What's my power in this situation? Song of the week, 100 Years by Five for Fighting. And the image of the week is a compass pointing north. You'll find more about all this in my forecast for the month of June, which is already up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. Listen to my show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio at 5 p.m. Eastern on the 1st and 3rd Monday of every month. Yes, Monday, June 7 is an episode. I host lively conversation on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and the group, the Astro-Insight Lounge. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I'm really grateful to the people who are supporting my work there. I post on Instagram at @KABiehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian Channel. Talk to you next week.